Hello and welcome to Burning Questions, the latest edition, and we'll talk about something that happened after the last Burning Questions in just a moment, Andy Gath. Let's respect our sponsors. I want some new live reads because I don't know how many more ways I can do these, but I'll do it one more time. Whether you're celebrating a win or shoveling in the stables, you want your staff to look their very best. And you do that with uniforms from Hip Pocket Workwear and Safety. They have you covered, you and you and you, for clothing, protective equipment, and plenty more. Check out hippocketworkwear.com.au. And before we get stuck into the first question, Andy, I did reveal on radio that after the last race last Saturday night, you thought it was appropriate to text me and tell me that you thought you'd won the best bet tipping competition because Balenciago beat Ultimate Vinny home. Discuss.
Well, I didn't have a very good night, as you know.
Neither did I.
Bitty Shed had a grade 4 bleed. He's got to go to the paddock. Chinese Whisper gallop. So it wasn't a great night overall, but the only highlight of the night was betting your best bet home. And you got to take any win, no matter how small it is sometimes. So I had great pleasure sending that text, and it was great that you replied to it.
Well, I do enjoy the real small wins, but I would have thought you would go and check on Ultimate Vinny's well-being before texting that, because as soon as it got out to run, it went backwards. So I thought, let's care about the animal first. Animal welfare is very crucial in this sport because something had to have gone amiss with Ultimate Vinny. He just stopped where he stood after getting the beautiful run in behind the leader. So I hope you feel proud of yourself.
Well, generally carrying the weight of you on their back is not always easy for a lot of horses. So, again, you probably shouldn't listen to the program.
Only about 86 kilos. There's some bigger ones than me out there, let me tell you. Right, question one of the burning questions is, we'll start with you, Gregory, and welcome to you. Can Amaldo replicate his massive debut win? Now, you've got one that you're driving in this race that I think has got a huge hope in Puzzle Piece, but I was a little bit shocked by that debut win by Amaldo.
Yeah, he's a very nice horse. I know the camp have had a really good opinion of him for quite some time. And, I actually trialled against him with Nonpareil at Bacchus Marsh, and we went 159 for the 2,000 metres around Bacchus Marsh, which is very, very rare. And he went down fighting. I was able to beat him on that occasion. So, he's a very, very smart horse. And after seeing that trial, I was not surprised to see the way he won at Kilmore. And also, the camp were sort of the opinion that whatever he did in that first up run, he will take a lot of benefit out of, which you would expect. So he's got a good draw. He has good gate speed, which I did see at the trial. So I expect him to put up a huge performance. And, I would have liked to have drawn a lot better with the one I'm driving. But, he's going to be hard to chase, that's for sure.
Now, I haven't got a question about Nonpareil in the burning questions today, but she certainly franked the form. She looked like her mum, arms of an angel, just decided to blow the start and still find a way to win. She looks pretty good, Gregory.
Yeah, she's got raw natural ability, but she's still a work in progress sort of horse. She was a bit of a headache for us last time around, which I didn't think she would actually make it to the races last prep. So what she did last prep, we were very happy with and hoping to sort of go on with the job this time around. And that first up trial was obviously very impressive, but old habits sort of crept back in, obviously at Kilmore. So hopefully we've rectified that for this week, and not going to be easy now. Obviously, given the main dangers a start, but she is a nice filly.
As Skeety, you said before we came on air, sometimes Greg's on a tractor, sometimes he's eating toast. Today he's in a normal, if slightly dimly lit room, giving us his thoughts on Nonpareil and also Amaldo. What do you think of Amaldo? How good is it?
Yeah, well, Greg's just given us some great insight there, because my query on the horse was obviously only having his second start. We haven't seen gate speed from a front row draw. So that was my question. He obviously was driven to be able to use his speed first start, and he does look like he has plenty of speed sprint laning through after being 3 pegs. So he can absolutely win. I probably had a bit more of a query on him than what Greg's just told us. But, I think it's at this stage when so many horses are only lightly raced, it's probably a lot more open.
What are your thoughts, Andrew? And have you got the window open there, just getting a bit of fresh air in, or is that an optical illusion?
The window's open, just letting the flies out.
And back in. Your thoughts on Amaldo?
Yeah, obviously he's very impressive first up. The SP profile suggests that it wasn't that good, but we just like to get that in every episode.
Yeah.
But hit the line very strong, and it's only going to hit the line very strong. It's only going to be better for the run, you think. Again, it's a really tricky race. Not a lot of exposed form, a lot of horses probably going to improve in 6 months' time. I think the one horse probably holds the key whether it wants to hold up or not, but has been smashed a fair bit on fixed odds, Amaldo, so it's definitely the one to beat. But yeah, just don't know where it's going to map in the race, but I'm sure it's going to be a horse, of the future with a bit of racing under its belt.
I'm glad we got SP profile in. That's the main thing. Did you just go and turn the light on, Greg?
I did. I was starting to get a bit self-conscious about the dimly lit room.
I've got to check my own power. After Matty Leopard was reading a poem on air for Credit Master, I just got to be careful what I say sometimes. Question 2 of the Burning Questions is brought to us by the Fresh Connection. They export. They don't import. They do more of the exporting. They're not importers, exporters. They just export fresh fruit to more than 35 countries. Damien Glengarry's doing a job that I think is probably world best as export manager there. And the Fresh Connection specialise in citrus, table grapes, cherries and mangoes. freshconnection.com.au. Second question. Skeeter, will draws or class decide the Blossom Lady this weekend? We black booked Pray Tell and Eva Mateo from last week, but they now have to take on the might of Margida and Good Time Heaven and moments like these we'll discuss in a moment. Your thoughts without getting any intel from Greg Sugars?
It's it's an awfully tough race, this one, isn't it? And there's so many questions. Moments like these obviously trialled nicely, but no doubt has a big campaign ahead of her. And Margida, Good Time Heaven, both first up for a little while. Margida and Good Time Heaven off a long break, so they're going to both have to do some work. It's really tricky. I don't have an answer, but I'm leaning towards class because all of the class horses do have tough draws to overcome. So if I was going to have a bet in the race, it would probably be even Mateo each way, because I think with that gate speed, she can get across to the pegs and we know she can run time. So it makes life difficult for Margida and Good Time Heaven, but you couldn't put it past them with their class as well.
All right, Gregory, lay it on us here. Moments like these, I would have thought you'd go a little bit softly, but the trial we saw on Tuesday suggests she's just about ready to roll. Margida, you know very well, very talented horse, wide second line draw, but race fitness these days at metro level, particularly at high metro level, is hard. It's hard to match.
Yeah, absolutely. No, our filly, we're very happy with the way she trialled, and she's been in work for quite some time now, so she's had a lot of groundwork put into her and 2 trials under her belt. So she's pretty close to the mark, but we all know that there's nothing like race fitness to really top off horses, especially metro class horses, as you touched on. So we expect our girl to run a really, really forward race, but it all just depends on how everything unfolds early. There's obviously a lot of speed there, mainly with Eva Mateo. So where we lob exactly in the run and how hard we work to get it is probably going to dictate whether we're a live winning chance first up or not. Margida, no secret, she's been one of my all-time favourite horses to drive over the last couple of years, and it wasn't a real easy decision to hand the reins over and get off her this time around. And she clearly was not herself up in Sydney last start, so that's probably got to be some sort of question mark over her. Not having a run for a few weeks, but we know that if she is produced in her A-grade form, that the back row draw is certainly something she's able to overcome when she's right. So it's hard to know exactly where she's at until we see it, but it wouldn't surprise me to see her get up and win from that awkward draw. And likewise with our filly, if she happens to get the perfect trip, I think she's forward enough to be a live winning chance. Everything going perfectly well for her.
So riddle me this one quickly, Gergs. We've got some critical intel there that you did actually hand the reins over. So there's a clear decision that's been made here to go with Minty. That's number one. Number two, Eva Mateo. I'll give you a little scenario. I'll read you a little fairy tale, okay? There's a little man named Eva Mateo who flies across to find the front. And there's little Greg Sugars, and he thinks to himself, I know she hands up a little bit. Am I going to go and attack her and take the lead off her? And do I think that would work out if I tried it? Choose your own adventure, fairy tale this is. What are you going to do here, Gergs? We can see your facial expressions a lot better since the lights came on, by the way.
Very, very impressive little narration there. I'm very happy with that outcome. If that was to eventuate, I'd be happy to sort of let Eva Mateo be the first one to the pegs and hopefully I'd be the first one there to have a look for the front. And if I found my way to the top, I'd be quite happy to stay there.
Do you think you'd be a good chance of achieving that if you had a dip at a Grey?
I would think so, yes.
Hey, that's interesting. That's not exactly. I was half in that and half out of it. What are your thoughts here, Andy? I think it's very hard to win off second line draws, isn't it? Particularly first up from a break. The other two have got race fitness, but you just wonder if there's a few ducks and drakes here with those second line runners. There might be enough pressure early to get them into the race.
Yeah, no, it's very tricky, and we know what a great mare Nikkita is. She's won over 600,000. But last preparation, I don't think she was able to win any race off the fence, and this is going to be the same scenario again. She's not going to be able to find the pegs. So, yeah, as good as she is, and a couple of queries on her last couple of starts at Menangle, but she's from the right stable. She wouldn't be here if she wasn't spot on. So she's always going to be hard to beat. Good Time Heaven at her best is really quality mare as well. And, Pray Tell and Eva Mateo were terrific last week. They're both great runs, and we know what a good mare moments like these is too first up. So it is a tricky race, and it was a burning question. None of us been able to answer it for you.
Well, that's okay. It'll just keep burning. It just keeps burning out of control. 2 questions I only want yes or no to here. Gregory, is moments like these pretty much close to 100% screwed down for a first up run?
Is she pretty much close? Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm not asking you, is she 100%? Yes, look at this. Look at the little grin. She 95% or more?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, that's right. Really topped her off.
That's not a yes or no. Right, so, and in a word, do you think she's gone to another level?
Yes.
I think I might be backing her when I get off the burning questions because nobody gets to see this for a little while. It'll get recorded and then I bet, and then I've already had a bet on Evan Mateo. I'm thinking leader behind the leader just quietly there. Question 3 is brought to you by APG. Go to apgold.com.au. Andy, does Malcolm lead or hand to Max, and will that be decisive? We're talking about Malcolm's Rhythm and Max Delight, the 2 stablemates in the Tab Captain Sandy free-for-all. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure that Malcolm's Rhythm will be the first leader. Cruisers get out pretty good, and they always want to hold it for whatever reason. Even last start, when it was a field of 6, they still went forward and had a little look for the lead. So, it could be the Flying Neutman Cruise. Don't know why they want to lead on it. It's sort of the only good run this time in was when it didn't do any work early, but yeah, they always seem to want to lead on it. So, again, if that scenario happens, it probably takes all these elements out of the race. But again, they're clearly the best 2 performed horses in it, Malcolm's Rhythm and Max Delight. I can't answer the question because I don't think Malcolm's Rhythm will be in front. So there's your answer.
Do you think Max Delight will be in front?
I think they'll chance their arm and just try and lead themselves, I'd say.
Right. Well, who's the likely winner if you can't answer? We've now got 2 bushfires burning, and there's only one big Elvis, that big helicopter, you understand? It can only spray down water on one of our burning questions. So who do you think's going to win the race?
Bulletproof Boy.
He went good last start, didn't he? I love Bulletproof Boy. Skeeter, your thoughts here? Apparently, I mean, Luke Tabone has just had an almighty. He's actually going to have to. He's been rushed to the hospital after the lashing that he just got from Andy. So even I feel a little bit edgy about it all. What do you think's going to happen?
Yeah, well, it's interesting, isn't it? Obviously, just a small field, but we have seen good gate speed from Malcolm's Rhythm on different occasions, but then we've seen other times where they don't always use it. So that is probably the question mark, but I definitely think they will go forward with Max Delight, and he's more than likely, I think, going to be able to find the top. And from there, he'll be pretty hard to beat. He did have a trial. We haven't seen him for a little while, but has trialled leading into this. So I think if he finds the top, he's going to be hard to beat. But I'm with Andy. Bulletproof Boy was amazing last week. He's absolutely flying. He went into my black book, and his the times he ran was outstanding last weekend. So I couldn't put it past him to cause a slight upset.
I might have to reassess my best bet at this point, unless you can give me some support, please, Greg. Can you give me some support? Get that fan going in the background. It's getting quite hot here. The burning questions is eating up. What do you think is going to happen in the Captain Sandy?
Yeah, look, Andy's hit the nail on the head. The one is definitely the spanner work. So very, very interesting to see what happens there. Unless I suppose David can get a feel shortly after the start that he's a chance of getting cross quick. I think he might be a little bit conservative with Malcolm's Rhythm. I'd imagine Max Delight will run the gate forward, and he is the best chance of finding the front for mine. If there's no speed in the race, I don't think Bulletproof Boy can win. He sort of needs them to go hard, I think, all the way to get over the top of horses like this.
Right, a little bit of food for thought there, and I might get some fruit for my food because Felvo Fruits are the sponsors of our final question. They're specialists in table grapes. They're great people. They're just into grapes. That's what they're about. And not your wine grapes, your table grapes. They've been doing it since the 60s, Michael and Josie Felvo, and they're keeping the tradition going. They haven't been doing it. They've taken over. It's a Felvo family. Everyone loves their grapes. Keep an eye out for Felvo Fruits. You know you'll love them. Question 4. I'm still shook by the answers to question 3. I'm never doing this again, by the way. I'm going to you, Andy, and I'm putting a full stop on any more Chinese whisper questions. This is going to be the last one. I'm sick of him. I love the horse. I came in real strong. Now I have to have a Panadine Fort every time I even think about Chinese whisper. But is the drop in grade going to be enough to change Chinese's fortune, Andrew?
Yeah, it's a big drop in grade. Obviously, the last weekend he sort of galloped last week, which probably didn't help. But I'm not sure he's travelling 100% grade at the time too when he did gallop, so that's a little bit of concern. He's had a few little issues when he's first come over, mainly trying to work him out and seeing what gear's on him and, having him shod right and all that. So he's hasn't been a sort of push button horse to sort of train. So we were happy to sort of miss this week, but it seemed a suitable race to sort of put him. Not 100% convinced he's 100% at his best, but I still think his class might get him through. I'm Pegasus went pretty good last time we raced against her, and it led and copped a lot of heat, so it's going to be pretty tough to beat. I got no doubt he can still win, but yeah, I'm sort of looking forward to just giving him a little bit of a break soon and sort of reload and go again. But he's still a quality horse, and I think in 6 months' time, 12 months' time, we'll see the best of him. But he's still too good a horse not to think he can't win on Saturday night.
Yeah, I was just praying you'd give him a break now. That's just after the last night. I actually prayed to my God, and just please give him a break because I don't need him in my life at the moment.
Yeah, I just wanted to see if you're going to go for another question. That's the only reason I put him in, to be honest.
It was about $1.30 that I was going to. If he's in, he gets a question. Greg, just having a little, just clearing the eyes out there. I'm looking forward to seeing that back. Just a little bit of an eye work. I didn't mind that. Chinese Whisper. Can we trust him down in grade? Is he just going to be too good? Or I'm with Andy. I reckon Iron Pegasus is going to be hard to beat in front.
Yeah, I don't think we can trust him. He's obviously his short-term career here. His track record isn't as well as what Andy and Kate would have liked to see. There's no doubt the horse has his fair share of ability, which he's shown in New Zealand, but he has lost his way for whatever reason, and it's obviously going to be a bit of a work in progress for Andy and Kate to sort of iron that out, which they're obviously on their way to doing. The big help is the drop in grade from what he's met over 2 of his last starts when he's been in free-for-all company. The concern is last time when he did beat a field like this, second up, that there was a whole lot of speed mid-race, which probably sort of set it up for his racing pattern for where he is at the moment. So we all know how hard it is to come from the back at Melton when there's no speed in the race. And for mine, it looks like a race that's going to be dominated by horses up front. So if he does put everything together and is able to circle the field and win, it'll show that he is a high quality horse. But I can't see it being run to suit on this occasion.
Do you hear that little beep before, Scooter? Was that just on my ear? There's a beep. There's definitely a beep. So what are your thoughts here? We can't trust Chinese Whisper anymore. And you know what? He'll come up short because he's Chinese Whisper and he'll come up short. So what are we doing?
Look, he will. I think I got lucky the week I made him my best bet and he got the job done. But, given that he made a mistake last week, I don't think I could confidently be tipping him this week. We know even close to 100% when he drops down from free-for-all level, it looks a really suitable race for him. So there's no doubting he can absolutely win. But as Greg said, he did have plenty go his way as well when he was able to win a couple of weeks back in a similar class grade. So looking forward to seeing the best of him when he all puts it together. Can absolutely win this week, but declaring him no.
Is that has that picture slipped badly behind your Skeeter, or is it just the angle of the camera? Because it looks like it's on a 45-degree. That's going to fall on your head in a minute. Is that an optical illusion, or is there something wrong with that picture at this point?
No, my laptop's crooked. The picture's straight, laptop's not.
Okay, we're back on track. Best bets. We'll start with you, Greg. What's your best of the night?
I'm going to go with Nonpareil. She obviously going to take her on a bit of trust after seeing what she did at Kilmore. But I think we've sort of got her ironed out for this week, and she pulled up really good after that first up run. So got to need obviously a little bit of luck in running somewhere along the way, but if she gets it, I think she'll be hard to beat.
Geez, I reckon Gergs has bowled us a bit of a wrong in there. It sounded like he was talking down Nonpareil and, be work in progress. Moments like these, nearly 100% right. Then, boom, it cuts back at you the other way. It's a leg spinner, but it's gone the other way. Skeeter, your best bet, please.
I've had it really tough this week. I've been concentrating on Bendigo Friday nights and looking through Melton. It was a really tough meeting, but I'm going map related in the lucky last and going with Major Delico. I think he was obviously used at the start last week and just got a little bit tired late, but I think he'll be behind the lead this week and should get every chance over the short trip.
My best bet of the night, and I am having massive best bet regret here, is Malcolm's Rhythm. I'm the only moron that thinks he will be used at the start. And despite the deep, profound need of Luke Tabone to want to keep the lead with Cruz, I think he'll get there. And I think he's going better than Max Delight. I think he trialled pretty well, so he's my best of the night. Andy, do you want to have a bet in the same row so that if we finish 5th and 6th, you can still text me and say that you finished ahead of me or what?
Well, we are going head-to-head. Bulletproof boy for me. So, yeah.
Bulletproof boy.
Due to win again.
One of my absolute favourites, and you're taking me on with Bulletproof boy. How are the Flyers going? You seem to have worked it out. Is there only an exit? The Flyers don't seem to be coming in; they're only going out. It's like one of those shopping centres, but it's only exit. Is it for the Flyers?
Yeah, I don't know. I think all the old food I got in the car, they're happy to come in there.
We might have to unpack that next week. Why are you carrying around old food in the passenger seat? But there's no time here. That's been the burning questions. We appreciate the time of Nikkita Ross, Greg Sugars, and of course, old food hoarder Andy Gath, including myself, the hostess with the mostest, Jay Bond. Hopefully we found you some winners on Saturday night at Tabcorp Park Melton.